In Dunedin, the clean-up was underway after more than 100 millimetres of rain yesterday caused houses and roads to flood and prompted some evacuations. A state of emergency was declared in the city on Thursday afternoon, but less than 24 hours later, the fast-moving flooding had receded and the declaration was lifted. Our reporter Maya Burry was out in Dunedin today assessing the damage.
In the early hours of this morning, council contractors were out clearing debris and hosing down roads in the wake of yesterday's deluge, which the council says flooded at least 13 homes. More than 100 millimetres of rain fell in Dunedin yesterday, with nearly half of it arriving in the space of 4 hours, leaving flood-prone South Dunedin the worst hit. The rain overwhelmed part of the water network, sending diluted but untreated sewage into at least 4 of the suburb's streets.
The water came in through the front door, as you can feel. It's all affected.
You can hear the squelch under the carpet, can't you?
That contaminated water flooded large parts of the Radius Fulton Aged Care Centre, damage which the facilities manager, Robin Bowie, pointed out to me on a walk around the building. Ms Bowie says they evacuated the 89 residents at the centre yesterday afternoon. She says they will have to strip and replace all the wet carpets and make sure everything is decontaminated before people can return.
It's something definitely we didn't want to deal with. Residents were distressed. This is their home. Of course they didn't want to be shipped out in the night and go to an unfamiliar environment. Very distressing to everyone.
The aged care centre was also badly affected by flooding in low-lying South Dunedin in 2015, when there was damage to about 1,200 properties. Ms Bowie was emotional as she explained how difficult fighting the floods had been, but she wasn't sure what more could be done to prevent the flooding, which had come on very quickly.
We've spoken to the council before. There's not a lot I can say about that. We've spoken to the council before. I think they've done a much better job at keeping drains and clear. And, but there was a huge deluge of water in a very fast time yesterday.
Just down the road from the retirement home, Nelson Street resident Sarah Alexander spent yesterday frantically sandbagging her home, but to little avail as it also flooded. Ms Alexander says the floodwater in her home wasn't contaminated, but she had to get help from the fire service pumping it out of her property.
Absolutely awful. It was knee deep in our street, and my property wasn't affected to start with, and then it got so deep in the street that it flowed through my driveway and pulled in my property. It was about a metre in and about ankle deep, all at the lowest points of the house, so the front of the house, the 2 bedrooms and the back bedroom.
Ms Alexander says this is the 3rd time her house has flooded in 3 years, and she's pretty over it.
I really am. It's really distressing, and it takes a lot of time to deal with the aftermath of it, and having to leave work and things like that. It's not okay.
Dunedin's Mayor, Dave Cull, this morning announced the state of emergency had been lifted. He says no further significant rain is forecast and the focus is now on the clean-up.
Although there's nothing like the damage to public infrastructure, for instance, that we had in 2015, nonetheless there are a number of residents who had their homes flooded, so the emphasis now is on getting out and supporting them, assessing the damage and helping them.
Dave Cull says the Mayoral Relief Fund has been activated to give assistance to those who need it. In Dunedin for Checkpoint, Maya Burry.